what they're going to do. They're like, we're just going to have the cat for a night because it came, and they're going to let it out, and then maybe it'll come back. Or they're trying to figure out if the cat has an owner, and they don't know what to do, and then they get a hold of the Watter's owners, and they're like, you can bring the cat over here, which I thought, wow, that's great for Watter. But then I thought, do they know that it's a girl cat and Watter's a boy cat? And then they were like, and that, you know, one cat might get pregnant, and then they were like, they were going to ask if the cat was neutered. And then I realized, like, where I grew up, no one neutered cats because we couldn't afford it. Like, that would be, no one took animals to the vet that I knew of, because that is cats live and died in the streets, and cats were just cats. We never even thought about doing such things to cats because it costs money, and we just let cats be cats. So I have no idea if cats can still have cat sex, if they're neutered, if they're not neutered, because that would be frustrating if, you know, I thought maybe they can still have cat sex but just can't have babies. But I am not sure. I don't even know what I know anymore about cats. So anyways, they were going to bring the cat over there. They were going to let the cat spend the night over there because we can't have cats, and they were going to put it, and then they were going to put it in a cat carrier and bring it to the vet. And then they said the vet, or not the vet, the animal shelter said if I have a chip in it, I would tell the owner, and then they can find the owner. I was like, don't bring the cat there, they might kill the cat. And then they're like, we're not going to let it kill the cat. And I'm like, I would call first. They might not let us leave with the cat if nobody owns the cat without, you know, buying it like a collar and registering it, or getting, you know, some kind of like inspected by a vet, which might cost a lot of money. So I told them to just call. We would love to have the cat. I told them to call and find out before they go taking it to the animal shelter, like, because apparently I thought I knew about cats. I know nothing about how cats or the world works. Anyways, I don't know what's happening. They sent me another picture. So the cat's adorable, and then they tell me it could be if it's an emotional cat, or if you need an animal for emotional support, a support animal, then you can keep it without paying the extra $100 a month. And so I thought, well, I could use a cat for emotional support, and my son, apparently he could use a cat. Well, my wife was thinking about my kid needing the emotional support with the cat, and he likes the cat and he could use it apparently. But that brings up the whole question of, like, I guess you just have to call a pediatrician, and then the pediatrician, you know, writes a letter to the apartment manager, and then the apartment manager says, yes, you can have this cat for emotional support. It's a support animal. And then I'm thinking, you know, how I don't want to be involved with that because I don't know anything about emotions, or like manipulation, or how you can like use emotions or manipulation to convince somebody that you need something that you may or may not need, or might be suffering from. And so I am so confused. I'm like, you know, you guys just take care of it. I will let the pediatrician and you and Micah and everybody decide if we need an emotional support cat. And if we do get it, I will be happy. And if we don't find an owner for the cat, you know, ultimately you want to find the cat's owner. But if we don't find an owner for the cat, that would be good to have the cat, because the cat is adorable. It's which made me also think that's not a stray cat. That's right. Going back to the stray, they said it was a stray cat, but then it just came in the house and was just like sleeping and sitting on laps. And I'm like, that's not a stray cat. That might have been a cat that somebody let loose, that used to be a pet, or they didn't want anymore, or they lost. That was once a pet cat. That's not a stray cat. Is it someone's pet still? Did they like leave it? Did they not want it? That happens sometimes. Or did it get lost? Are the owners gone forever? We don't know. But it's definitely not a stray cat, which got me thinking more about my childhood and all the cats I grew up around and had to deal with growing up as a child. Like, for instance, stray cats are usually cats that are been out in the wild for a long time, or been born in the wild, or had to have survived in the wild for a long time. Those, usually it's cats that were born in the wild, and those cats are wild. Even as kittens, you can't approach them, you can't pick them up, you can't grab them, they're afraid of you, they will claw you, they will bite you. They are some crazy cats. Even little baby kittens. Because I remember thinking, like, I forgot about this, but I remember a time when I had cats and they had kittens, and you could just go and like pull them off of when they were still drinking milk, and the mom would let you, and they would just be adorable, great kittens who loved people. And then one time we had, in a house that I lived in with, we'll just say, my parents, my dad and my stepmom, and they had, I don't know how it happened, but they had stray cats in the basement. And I didn't even think about it at the time. Like, how do you have stray cats in the basement? But the more I thought about it, I'm like, they were stray cats because they were kittens and they were wild. Like, I tried to pick one up and it just tried to attack me, and it wouldn't let me pick them up. And I asked my stepmom, and she said, no, they're stray cats. And I'm like, well, but they're in our house. So I couldn't figure out, like, how, like, did a stray cat sneak in the house and have kittens and we didn't know about it? Or did we just not take care of the cat and the kittens and they became stray? Or like, because usually when a cat's pregnant and it's going to have kittens, you set up a place for it and it'll have kittens in that place, and you're like right on top of it there, right when it's happening. I don't know what happened. I don't know what went wrong, what's got to go wrong to have wild stray cats that are being born and living in your house. But we had that growing up at one point in time. I was older, but they were in the basement of the house. Maybe it was because they were in the basement. That's what made them stray and nobody went down there a lot. I have no idea what happened, but they were definitely stray cats. You could not touch those cats. They would run, and if you tried to grab them, they would attack you. And just, so it brings me back to, so I'm like, this is not a stray cat. And so now I don't know if we're gonna keep the cat or not. I would like to keep the cat, but then again, all those other things, there's like a lot happening, a lot's gotta happen, everything's gotta go right, and I don't wanna be a part of the whole, you know, figuring out if we need an emotional support animal. I feel like I need a cat for emotional support, but my kid does too. He probably needs it more than me. And so I think we'll see how it goes. And then we'll have a cat, and then we'll pay for cat food and cat litter, and then we're probably gonna have to keep it like an inside cat, because if it goes outside, then it might leave and never come back, and then my kid and I will lose our emotional support cat, or a support cat for our emotional well-being, which wouldn't be good after having it for a while. So then I thought, that's so weird though, because when I was growing up, we had cats that were outside cats that would just, you let them out when they wanted to go out, usually they would go out and run the streets at night, and they'd come in the morning after running the streets and want to eat, but they always came back. Like I remember, you know, when I lived with my grandma, we had this cat named Morris the cat that saved my life once, or Morris thought he saved my life. He was named after, I think there was a cat commercial about cat food, and there was an orange cat named Morris on it. I think they named him after that cat, but I woke up in the middle of the night, and apparently there's like a little stringy thing that comes off a blanket sometimes, like fish in mine. It was like and it was wrapped tightly around my neck. Now I wasn't gonna die or choke to death in my sleep, I'm pretty sure. Probably not. I don't know how it got like that. But Morris woke me up by tapping on my neck to tell me that I had a string around my neck. I'm positive of it. Morris has never woke me up in the middle of the night. Like, he didn't want to be let outside. He didn't want food. He just wanted to let me know I had a string around my neck, and Morris thought that he had saved my life. So that was a great cat. I loved that cat. The point is Morris was a boy cat, and Morris went out every night and like got into cat fights and ran the streets, and then he always came back. Cats always would come back. So now I'm like, why are cats not coming back home? What has happened to cats? Is it because they're neutered? Is it because they don't know? Like, I don't know what's going on with cats these days. The cats that I grew up with knew how to go out and have a good time and come back home in the morning and just do it every single night. Now when Morris got older, it's like, this is how, when a cat goes and it never comes back, that means the cat's usually dead. The cat has died somehow. Now when Morris got older, I remember him coming home one night, and he had lost a fight, because he used to be a good fighting cat, and you know that because he was a boy and not neutered, and every time he'd come home in the morning, he wouldn't be beat up. So he was a good fighting cat. And then when he got older into his not so good cat fighting days, he was not. I felt really bad, because I remember him coming home one night all beat up and bloody and stuff, and I felt so bad for him. But he was, you know, past his prime cat fighting days, and he was still going out there and fighting. He didn't want to let him out to go fight because he knew he was older and starting to lose the fights, but he just kept going out. Anyways, so that is the cat news, the kitty news.